Next, let's talk about nulls. A null represents an unknown state. Use not null on a column definition when that column must contain a known data value. For example, we have the table stuff, we have several columns. Some of them, like the first on the ID column, is defined as not null. That means you must always provide a value for that column. Then we have the column called depth, and this one is defined as not null, but when you do not provide a value, db2 will put the value of 10. So when you put with default 10, that means that default value will be 10 when there is no value provided. So for example, not nulls are required when are defining primary keys in db2. Now let's talk about system catalog tables. db2 automatically creates system catalog tables when a database is created. They always reside in the syscat table space. System catalog tables contain information about all the objects in your database. For example, when you create a table space, its information will be stored in one or more catalog tables. When the table space is referenced during a later operation, db2 checks the corresponding system catalog tables to see whether the table space exists and whether the operation is allowed. Without the system catalog tables, db2 will not be able to function. Some of the information contained in system catalog tables include the following definitions of all database objects: column data types of the tables and define constraints, objects privileges, objects dependencies, and so on. System catalog tables or views use the sysibm syscat or sysstat schemas. The sysibm schema is used for the base system catalog table. The syscat is used for views defined on the system catalog tables. db2 users should normally query the syscat views rather than the sysibm tables for information. The syscat schema is used for views containing information about database statistics and is also based on the system catalog tables. Although you cannot update the tables and views residing under the sysibm syscat schemas, you cannot update the views under the syscat schemas. Update these calls can sometimes influence the db2 optimizer to choose a different access path. Now let's talk about user temporary table space. User temporary tables can store temporary data, that is, data that will be destroyed after a session or when a connection ends. Temporary tables are typically used when you need to compute a large result set from an operation and you need to store the result set temporarily to continue with further processing. Though transaction logging is allowed when temporary tables, most users don't need to log temporary data. In fact, not having transaction logging for this type of tables improves performance. Temporary table exists only for one purpose. Therefore, there are no concurrency or locking issues. There are two types of temporary tables: declare global temporary table or DGTT and create global temporary table or CGTT. Both are temporary tables, but DGTTs are completely gone, including the table definition after the application disconnects from the database, while CGTTs do keep the table definition, though the table is empty.